freaking 2024 and these things are still around. There's only one way to exit. Alright, so there's a couple different reasons why people want to get into these emulator Pandora's boxes. And by a couple different reasons, here's mine. Or at least there's the main two right there. Oh yeah, baby, we're reliving our childhood. Quick side-by-side comparison here. This is the old model that I bought last year, and this was like the 10,000 games. The repeats in there weren't as bad, but there was a lot of extras in languages that weren't English. So you got all kinds of Chinese, Japanese, Deutsch in there, French, all kinds of stuff. So it ended up turning out to be, you know, like 6,000 or 7,000 games that were playable, understandable in English. This one here is advertised 26,000 games, but there's constant repeats in this. Like Mario Kart, there's 8 copies of Mario Kart. Zelda, like every Nintendo that's on here, there's like at least 8 copies on there, which is just a complete waste. And it's pretty much a scam when they say it's that many games. Sure, it's that many games, but you got 8 copies of the same game. Hey, at least they're translated to English on this one. This one also didn't have a cover on it when I bought it, so I don't know actually what it is. I know what it was advertised as being, this processor on here. And then this one you can see it's marked as a Pandora TT. So they both got the speaker. They both got the LED strip jacks. This one does not have internet or game market. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because the game market does not work for most people. But you can see the old one had way more ports and jacks. The new one has not as many, still lots. Some of these extra jacks or port outputs, whatever outputs, inputs, they're gonna be for your coin operated, whichever ones they are. I've never really looked into that, but if I ever find coin operated mechanism, I'll do a video on that for sure, because we want one of those in the cabinets we're going to build. On the older model, the SD card is hiding on the inside here, and you couldn't access it unless you open the console right up. And on the new one here, it's actually on the outside, so you can get through it easily. I suppose there's one change they made that was good, is that you can get at it. I need to use a pair of tweezers with this still, like a large pair of tweezers. It's not exactly easy, but you can get at it without opening the whole machine up. And we plugged in our naughty stick. The naughty stick is plugged in. We're trying this out. It's time to get our Pandory on here. Alright, we're getting to the bottom of this Pandora's box kerfuffle here. And the first thing that we're learning is you probably don't want to have a Mac computer. Again, guys, sorry for buying something awesome, but software designers and the greed of apps is going to restrict your progress in this. But check this out, okay? I need VirtualBox in order to run a lot of these programs necessary to do what we need to do here. VirtualBox is a Windows converter so that you can get Windows programs, and most of the programs, again, that we need, like the PANDORYTOOL would prefer. It doesn't look like it's exclusive to Windows, because the zipped file seems to read fine. It looks like it's a converted multifaceted file, I guess you would say, except all these other programs like Scraper, which is also a very, very necessary program to do this because it makes things easy. Scraper needs PC. So I'm here trying to get a PC converter called VirtualBox. And the reason I can't do that is because my computer is too old. VirtualBox requires a Mac program, I think Sonoma or higher. There's an even newer one coming out, but it looks like these aren't going to be for Mac computers that are older than these dates. So if you got a Mac and you're trying to do what we're trying to do here, it's probably not going to work unless you have a newer model. Then you might be okay. But again, VirtualBox demands a newer version of Mac software. My computer is actually not able to run it. Sad, sad day. On top of everything here, before I looked into it deeper, in order to get this new software update, it highly recommended, because it's so full of bugs. We should note that too, that these new Mac version software versions, they're literally full of bugs. Check online yourself to see all the troubles and problems that people are having. And it just seems to be one excuse after another, sadly. But anyways, so we're probably gonna have to do this using a PC computer. There is a Linux version for a lot of these things too, but I mean, I don't know, you guys. This is getting ridiculous. So anyways, I did a 9-hour backup onto an external hard drive. I've been holding onto this external hard drive because I wanted to use it for one of the game consoles that we're going to be working on. I don't know, we got a bunch on the go here, but I haven't really decided a lot of the hardware yet. We're still trying to just get to the bottom of all of this software. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end up hooking up one of these to a Tres and one of these to a Quattro as well right away here, and we're gonna mess around with it that way. I tried taking one of our China Nintendo's SD cards that we had bought and see if you could move around these ROM files, but they just don't make it easy. Like, you literally need to be a freaking computer guru in order to understand fully what you're doing here with this stuff. All these files are in different formats, and you need them to be in readable ROMs for whatever system you're using, and that's really what it comes down to, is those ROMs, and then your software or your system being able to recognize them and read them correctly. Like, you don't want to be searching around for crazy files that don't even make sense. On this one, there's a lot more of that. There's a lot more things with misspelled names, and I think some of it is done purposely. Like, look at the top there, MSL's Eats Beans. Well, that's Pac-Mans. These are Pac-Mans, but they don't even put them right. And then Rockman 7, another example. That's frickin' Megamans, not Rockman. These are Megamans here. On this system, the newer version, although it's quite disappointing as far as the hardware and everything else goes, and the 8 tuplets, the octuplets that you get in here of copies of games, where they say that there's 26,000 games, but there's actually less than 10,000 games. It's a scam, don't fall for it, guys. I would not recommend one of these unless you can just find them cheap. This one is actually the better model because of what you can do with this thing. And we're in here on Scraper, and you can see that although it says available for Mac, it says available later for OS X. It's not publicly available yet. So here's where our problems continue, and we're sitting here. Download the version for Windows. Try to download the Windows converter for this Mac. Oh, this Mac is too old.
Oh, shit.
You need a newer software update to be able to run it using a converter. So the problems continue. If you at all intend on using a Pandora's Box Arcade and USBs and SD cards and all of that fun kind of stuff, don't involve a Mac computer. Even if it's new, don't involve a Mac computer. Everything is against you. All right, PANDORYTOOL is processing a bunch of games that I put into their folders. Now I can see that some of them didn't work, but I think I know what I did wrong, and I was working with the .bins, and I put them in the Mega Drive instead of the Game Boy Advance. I think that's the problem I did there. Uh-oh, Legend of Zelda Parallel Worlds. What? Oh. I want that parallel world to work. You better work. Right after a few cracks of doing this and trying to figure out what I had done wrong, because it's not exactly easy unless you're a friggin' computer guru, and I'm not, I'm a hardware guy. Anyways, it looks like in our MC Games folder here, we've got some games that are going to attempt to install finally. Let's try it out.
Fight!
Yes. Installing soon. It's installing! It's installing. We are installing. We are installing. Would you look at that? Team Pandory, thank you. We're on it. A Link to the Past is installing. Oh no, Mario's missing. Alright, let's check this out. Did this work? We have more games. We have more games. Yes! Well, we got 2 copies of A Link to the Past here. It looks cool, man. Mario is missing. Like, what the heck even is this? Alright, let's get the rest done. Alright, so as per PANDORYTOOL and Emu Chicken, they have a legend made up for all your files, and according to that legend, .bin, your binary files were unable to go in certain folders, but then after cross-referencing, and probably it's an older video too, your bins, your .bin, your binary files, if they came from the PlayStation system, there's a good chance that that binary file should be going in the PlayStation folder. So you can see here our Dance Dance Revolution. It appears that it's been recognized under the PlayStation folder, and then when I tried the other binary folders in PANDORYTOOL, being I believe the Mega Drive or Master Drive, whatever, and as well the Game Boy Advanced, they never worked. They were a failure. At first glance, this one appears to have worked, but we'll see how all the Mega Mans and all that works out too. All right, here comes round 2 with our naughty stick. Now, here's what I found out. Some BIN files didn't go in a Game Boy Advance. They didn't go in the Mega Drive. They actually appear to belong in the PlayStation folder. So I'm going to stick this thing in here right now. We got some Mega Mans. We got the PlayStation. You disinserted checking. Install. Yes. Dance Dance Revolution installing. PlayStation. Yes! Do your thing, baby. Yeah, it said that they were supposed to go in, according to Emu Chicken, it said that we have some files that are supposed to go in the Mega Drive again, or in the Game Boy Advance, and they were binary files, the BINs, .bin, and those ones were failures, but then when I put them into the PlayStation folder, the PANDORYTOOL recognized them. So hopefully here, And I say hopefully because it kind of looks like we got binded up here again somehow. Looks like things stopped. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Come on, keep going. One success. Installing Mega Man 8. Yes. All right. So I'm a little excited now because it's taken a few days to get to this point. And watching the Pandorytool video like 17 or 18 times before I can finally understand it all. The other thing from that Pandorytool video, and I'm going to share the link in the description, they don't say anything about the USB when you're putting in or whatever, and it's because they're running a command prompt or like a modern version of a DOS, where the Pandorytool itself, when you assign this tool to that drive, when you assign it to the USB stick, it does it that way for you. So it's been a great success so far. Okay, so again, these .bin files, these binaries, they wouldn't go in the Game Boy Advanced, they wouldn't go into the Mega Drive, or they would go in there, but the Pandorytool wouldn't recognize them. So then when I tried to figure out where these files actually came from, regardless of what format they were, these games were all available on the PlayStation platform. So I put them into the PlayStation ROMs folder, and it sure appears like we're having some success now. Thank you, Emu Chicken. Your videos are mostly understandable, but for some of us who are hardware guys and not software guys, we don't do a lot of sitting in front of screens, and when we do, we're complaining on the jobs that you software guys do. So thank you very much. This was awesome. It's been a success. And at first glance, it looks like we got some new fresh games on here, some PlayStation games. We're gonna get our Dance Dance Revolution on here. Mega Man 8, X4, X5, and X6. All the pre-videos load up. Let's see if number 8 is gonna load up properly. Ooh-wee, things look good so far there, Emu Chicken. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the others out there who shared a little bit of information on how to do this. You guys, it's not easy, man. If you're not a computer savvy person, you're probably gonna struggle. So I'm gonna share a few of these legends that I found that helped me get through this. It's all about having the correct file, and there is tens and dozens of these things. There's gotta be 40 or 50 different formats for these game systems that I found here, and that's part of understanding how to piece this together the way that I did it. So what I did here was I have 2 Pandora's boxes that I purchased, and because each one of these, although they came from the same manufacturer, each model didn't have all the games that I wanted on it. So the old one had more like PlayStation games. The newer one that I just got has more like Nintendo games. But no matter how far you search, you end up finding that there's some games on there that you really, really want in that folder. You want those games in your Pandora's box. So I took games from one Pandora's box and I put them onto another Pandora's box using the Pandorytool, using the WinRAR tool, and using the Scraper tool. And not using Mac computers, might I add. Keep the Mac out of there.
Fight!
As you see, we got a pair of naughty sticks in here today, but what we're gonna do isn't very naughty at all. All the naughties have already been done for us, but let's pretend we're doing a little naughty. Okay, so in order, this is a compressed version, step by step. Here's step 1, don't use a Mac computer. Don't do it, just don't do it. Step 2, format a large USB to FAT32 or MS-DOS on the Mac. It's okay if you format it on the Mac, but just don't use a Mac. Keep the Mac out of this and you will have success. Step 3, download WinRAR, WinRAR. Hold on, is that actually a download? Yeah, you download that one and then you install it. Step 4, download PANDORYTOOL. We'll share the link in the description. Step 5, ScreenScraper. You want to register and log into ScreenScraper. And that's also in the PANDORYTOOL video. We'll share a link in the description. Step 6, add the ROMs that you found on your own. Nobody's going to hand you out a bunch of ROMs. Find them on your own or purchase them legally. There's ways of doing it. You can buy a lot of China products that have an SD card already in them full of thousands and thousands of games. So you just take one of these and you put it in your computer, and you take your PANDORYTOOL and you take one of these and you use the PANDORYTOOL's very awesome software that makes it very easy for you, even if you have to watch the video 17 times like I did at first to understand it all. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So you add the ROMs you found to their corresponding folders created in the PANDORYTOOL. Each folder is different than the other, and you want to put your .bins, or you want to put your .fscs, or you want to put your whatever in the corresponding folders. This is part of the process. We haven't skipped any steps yet. We also want to note that .bins, your binary files, our legends we have here say they only can go in a couple folders, but those BINs can go in several folders, most specifically the PlayStation folder. Okay, so it doesn't show that on our legends that the bins can go in the PlayStation, but the PlayStation games, the PlayStation can take bin folders, bin files. Step 7, insert your USB that you formatted earlier, and we're gonna start adding some games. Step 8, open up your PANDORYTOOL, open up your ROMs folder. These are going to be all the folders where you're going to put the games with the corresponding .bins or the .fscs or the .whatevers. Okay, so this is what's important, is use the legend that I'm going to provide, that I was graciously provided to from other people who made this easy. The legend is pretty much correct. It's going to show you how to navigate these different folders here and which games go in which folder, because if you put the games in the wrong folders, it does not work. On the left-hand side here, I've opened up my SD card that's got thousands upon thousands of games that I've purchased on it. And from here, we're actually just going to try use the search function, because a lot of these files are a bunch of nonsense. You can waste hours searching for something one way, but I'm going to try search it this way. And when we do this, we want to make sure that our search settings are correct here, because, let's see, where is it? Anyways, when you're using these, when you're searching your SD cards, you want to make sure that your search settings are set so that you find all files and not just certain files. I'm trying to remember where the heck it is here. What the heck? I can't remember where it is, but I was searching for it, I was searching through here, and I said to myself, man, there's more games than this. It's not finding all of them, but it was because my search settings somewhere up in here, they weren't correct. They were only searching for part of the files. So you need to search for all of your files on your card, or you might not find the game. Okay, so here it is right here. I found it after I entered something and started searching, in which it's searching right now. In the advanced options here, we want to find everything. We don't want to just find some things. We want to find everything on this card. So now we search. And we're going to come up with a whole lot more results. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, old computer's a little bit slow here, but make sure you search the whole card. Set your advanced options there so that you're searching for zip files, just all files. You want to find every single file when you enter something in the search bar, and you'll save yourself hours doing it this way. Now that we've done that, it is processing, and we're trying to add all that Super Mario and a couple PlayStation games that we wanted. So it looks like that Super Mario World that's going to run off the Sega Mega Drive, the Genesis Mega Drive, it was identified, so that should work. Army Men identified as PlayStation, so that one should work. And it usually tells you if it's going to be a failure on here. The only one that slipped through so far that I got was F02 or SNES. For some reason the pre-video loaded and played just fine, but the game did not play. It was just a blank screen. Sweet, Barbie Explorer. Oh, we're gonna be exploring the museum. Oh my goodness. Bust a move. Okay, so everything's looking good here. We'll see what happens when we get back to the Pandora and do some more downloading. This is probably gonna max out my free 20 here. But I tell you what, I'm going to be buying these guys a friggin' Tim Hortons box of coffee. So these PlayStation games down here that you see going, they were all .bins, okay? And according to the legends that I got from different places, there were no .bins in PlayStation. Now I believe these binary files, as long as they're corresponding to the right system, and I can only vouch for the ones that I've tried so far, which have all been successful. The .bins can also go in the PlayStation folder, and I would imagine they're going to be able to go into maybe like the Dreamcast, not the Dreamcast, the Dreamcast folder and whatever other folders. Sweet, I really need these ones too. Mario's Mystical Garden identified. Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, that's another backup in case, because you never know. Sweet, they've got it figured out in the software that this device has reached its maximum. Buy a round of coffee. Buy a round of coffee. Alright, so I bought the boys a round of coffees. Here we go. We have the unlocked version of the ultimate Pandory here. Just updating myself now on all the additions they've added and what else is different. Very excited. Thanks, Emu Chicken. Alright, well, whatever. Let's get into this.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. And here's a big thank you to all of those on our Patreon.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
These guys are the real superheroes, and if you want to support our work, please consider joining. Ta-ra.
Alright, so we totally maxed out our 20 free downloads. I bought a round of coffee for everybody to get the total unlocked version. You should do it too. Don't try to beat the system. They're better than you. That's how they got where they are right now. Buy a round of coffee. Thank you, Emu Chicken. We're getting these games figured out. Still a couple failures in there, but I'm figuring out how to succeed more often when we do this. Let's check it out. So right now I'm a little bit wow, and I hope this all works out. Uh-oh, there was a failure there. One failure. Oh well. Oh, I think that was because it was the double. Sweet, the double never went through. Anyways, I'm a little bit wow because I'm finding some pretty sweet ass games that can be added to this, like easy and free. Like, I think they're legal free. I hope they're legal free on the naughty stick. Oh, you naughty stick. Check this out, man. Command and Conquer downloading right now. I'm kind of like, wow.
Final round. Fight.
I want to throw a shout out to Vim. Vim, I believe it is. Way to go, man. Shout out to you guys. I haven't played this one yet. I have played all the Metal Gears all of my life. I even played that Raiden one, but I didn't like the, not Metal Gear 2 where you're riding for a while, but after number 4 there was some Raiden one and I didn't finish that. Matter of fact, I forgot I even had that still. Anyways, I think this is number 5 in the official Metal Gear Solid series, and I haven't played this yet. This is exciting. Alright, we're here with the naughty stick. We're into the heavy stuff now. We're into the heavies. Let's see how this one works out, because this one's pretty super cool, man. Let's do this. Yes, we do. Hydro Thunder. It's a must. You gotta have that on your arcade. Hydro Thunder. Let's go on the camera here. Ace Combat X. Yes. Success, success. Sweet. Honestly, the only game I'm really struggling with right now, actually there's more than one, but it's like anything that came off of the Dreamcast format. Some of them, you get them on here, they look like they're gonna work, and they don't. Or else when you get them turned on, like Rush 2049, the frickin' it asks you to put the game disc in. So, well, I don't have the game disc. The disc is supposed to be on you there, buddy. So anyways, all the Dreamcast stuff has been tough, but other than that, if you can find it in any other format, this seems to be a success all around. I have been struggling, however, with Phantasmagoria, the 8-disc game from like 1995. And I found it in a Dreamcast format as usual, and no, it doesn't want to work. Then there's a way where you can change it over to a CHD file, and I thought about going down that route, but I just had enough for today. I'm almost tired of messing around with these goddamn video games. It's not easy. Peace. So right now I'm using another formatting tool, and we're changing the format on either ISOs, .bins and .qs that were for Dreamcast, and the route I'm going right now is I'm trying to switch them over to CHDs, switching over to the CHAD, and that way we should be able to run it in our Windows processor. And if this works, this is gonna definitely be able to unlock a whole bunch of PS3 games. So we're trying it here on Phantasmagoria, although this is a really old game, and an incredibly large game, might I add. I didn't realize that it was actually 8 discs. Wow, 8 discs, man. Looking more into it, it was one of the most expensive games ever designed and filmed at the time too, but there was a lot of filming. And in 1995, or whenever it was, filming wasn't a huge part of gaming. It took a couple more years before it really started to become a main aspect of games, and the cinematography, the cinematics. So anyways, hopefully this conversion is gonna work. We're going to the CHAD from the bins, the ISOs. Let's go. So as of right now, the only real issue I'm still having is these Dreamcast games. They don't like the format, or I haven't figured out the trick. I've gotten some of them to go on here, but then they either don't quite run properly, like there's no audio, or the game freezes momentarily, or it just prompts you to enter a disc, to which we don't have once the game starts to load up. So right now I'm pretty much down to some of those old PC games, trying to get Phantasmagoria, but you can see it's having a problem scraping, and I don't know. See if I can figure out a solution for this.